What's up, Party Chat Sports? Welcome back to the channel. It's one of your hosts, Caleb Gill, and today I've got your Week 3 Parlay of the week as we get ready for the third week of the NFL season. And let's get right into what I'm cooking up for you here on this Parlay of the week. Let's start off with that Colts-Titans game. I wasn't really sure where to start, and I thought, all right, this is a good place to start. The Colts are clicking offensively right now, and the Titans just really aren't. They're giving up a lot of points defensively. They're giving up a lot of yards as well. So what I did was first Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown. The Colts offense seems to be running through Taylor right now, and the Titans defense is giving up 150 yards per game. That's 29th in the NFL through the first 2 weeks of the season. So I think the Colts are going to continue to lean on Jonathan Taylor. He got in the end zone, I think, at least twice last week, maybe even 3 times against the Broncos. I think the Colts will continue to do that. And with that Shane Steichen mentality, he's going to want to ground and pound. Daniel Jones, they'll probably try airing it out, but I think they're going to focus heavily on the ground, especially with how poor that Titans run defense has been. And then as an odds booster, I did throw in Colts covering, or money line. Colts money line on this one as well. We talked about it this week as we looked forward to week 3. The Titans are going to win a game at some point. Just don't know if that's going to be quite yet. So I do think the Colts ultimately win, and Jonathan Taylor's going to get in the end zone. I got to get my Jets game out there. I don't expect the Jets to have a lot of luck or success. I think Emeka Egbuka is going to score. He's scored in the last 2 games so far. In the first 2 games of the NFL season of his career, he's gotten into the end zone. And the Jets secondary, outside of Sauce, and even Sauce struggled last week against the Bills, there just really isn't a lot of talent, depth. There's undiscipline. There's yards and there's points to be had against this Jets secondary and defense altogether. So I think Emeka Egbuka is going to get hit pay dirt again for a 3rd straight week against the Jets. And then the other Ohio State receiver on the other side, wearing the green and white, I don't know if he's going to get in the end zone, but with Tyrod Taylor throwing the ball, one thing that he's done in the last couple games that he's come in, last year against Buffalo, actually both games against Buffalo for Tyrod Taylor, he feeds Garrett Wilson. He did it when he came in last week against the Bills, and then last year when he went in for Aaron Rodgers against the Bills. He's going to feed Garrett Wilson. Also because there's nobody else on the Jets team that is worthy of targets. There is no clear-cut number 2. So Tyrod Taylor is going to get the ball to Garrett Wilson as much as possible in this game. I really do feel that way. You lose Justin Fields' mobility with Tyrod, but Tyrod's going to throw it around. That's one thing that he has done and will continue to do, I'd imagine. So I think it's going to be over 5.5 catches for Garrett Wilson, going for over 66.5 yards. So I think it's going to be a decent fantasy day for Garrett Wilson with Tyrod Taylor back there. The Broncos-Chargers game, this could be one of the best games of the week. A divisional matchup. 2 teams that offensively look good. The Chargers are first place in the AFC West right now, and they have a lot of reason to be excited. You've already taken down the Chiefs, you took down the Raiders last week. Now you're on to the 3rd opponent in your division, the Broncos, hosting Denver. And I think Winston Johnston, he grew a set of hands. He has hands now, and he's getting into the end zone this week. I think anytime touchdown for him is going to hit. And then the other receiver for the Chargers that I feel like isn't getting talked a lot about enough. Ladd McConkey he has better odds for a lot of the receiving stats, but it's Keenan Allen that I'm looking to this week. He's a guy that Justin Herbert has really been relying on these last 2 weeks. Bringing Keenan Allen back seems to quietly have helped reach or get this Chargers offense to reach new heights. Now, again, we're only 2 weeks into the NFL season, but Keenan Allen, again, quietly had 5 receptions against the Chiefs and then 7 receptions last week against the Raiders. His line was 4.5 receptions. That seems like easy money to me. He's hit over 4.5 the first 2 weeks of the season. I think he does it this week as well against the Broncos in a game that probably is going to see a lot of offensive fireworks. I know the Broncos defense is supposed to be better, but the Colts just came in and put up over 30 on you. So, like, I think the Chargers can have a success offensively as well against the Broncos. The Packers-Browns game, I was looking at this one, like, do I really want to touch this? The line, I wasn't sure because it's currently set at 7.5. At least 7.5. It might even jump or change as we get closer to the game. So I don't really want to touch that because usually if it's like 5.5 or more, it's like, all right, let's maybe avoid that one. The over-under, not really sure. So like the game itself, I wasn't sure what to touch. But then I was looking at the receiving yards. And one thing that stood out to me, yes, I'm a big Mac Shit guy. So anybody from the Mac that is in the league, I'm going to cheer for. Even if they do come from that smelly school down I-75 Bowling Green. Harold Fannin, his receiving yard line for this game was 32.5. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, I wonder how many yards he's gotten the first 2 weeks of the year. First game against the Bengals, he had 7 catches for 63 yards. And then last week against the Ravens, he had 5 catches for 48 yards. So he is getting targets. He's getting Joe Flacco is finding him. He is getting those catches, and with that is coming, those yards are coming with him. So I think over 32.5 yards is achievable for Harold Fannin Jr. Now, this Packers defense, we'll see how much the Browns are really able to do. But even if that's garbage time, like, I will take 32.5 yards over that for Harold Fannin Jr. in this game. Got 2 games left that we're putting money on. I've got a whole 10 legs here, so we are almost to the finish. Rams-Eagles rematch of last year's it was a really good playoff game between these two. One guy that was not in that last year, though, was Davante Adams, and I think he hits over 58.5 yards. Matthew Stafford's seemingly finding him a little bit more. You know, first week it was only like 4 catches. I don't even think he hit 50 yards. It might have been like just 50. And then last week was, I don't want to call it a breakout, but they really found their stride together. Stafford and Adams did. And I mean, Stafford was force-feeding Adams, seemingly trying to get him a touchdown in the goal line to end that first half and against the Titans. Eventually, he did hit pay dirt. He did cross the plane and score, but I think they're going to continue feeding him and Puka Nacua. The Eagles' defense, their secondary, is a weak link right now. Like, I think there is some question marks back there. The Rams can take advantage of that. I think they will. Puka Nacua is going to get his fair share, and this is not to say, like, oh, for anybody that says, what about Nacua? I like the 58.5 yards for Davante Adams. I do. I think he's going to get that. I'm thinking he's going to get at least 60 yards in this game. So over 58.5 yards for Davante Adams in what hopefully will be another good game between these two teams. And then the last leg of this parlay is another one that we talked about on our episode this week. I think the Bengals and Vikings are going to put up points. 42.5 is a line as of today, September 18th. Cam thinks it's going to be under. The rest of us, I think I can speak for the other two, think it's going to be over. It's going to shoot up. We're going to the moon with these two teams. Because you figure 23-21 feels like I feel comfortable with that type of score. Like, if both teams score over 21 points in this game, we hit the over. So I'm taking over 42.5, and you're looking, like, especially on paper, before, like, a week ago, heading into week 2, you would have said, absolutely, Caleb, this is going over 42.5. And then now it's like, oh no, we had 2 backup quarterbacks, Carson Wentz and Jake Browning. But look what the Bengals did last week, and I think Carson Wentz is going to be able to find Justin Jefferson. Naylor's getting open. He's like, McCarthy could have had Naylor a couple times. I think Carson Wentz is going to do enough offensively for the Vikings. I didn't want to pick a winner in this game. I think over 42.5 is achievable for both teams. And, you know, when you have an offense with Justin Jefferson, and then on the other side you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and both teams have backup quarterbacks that have nothing to lose. Yeah, I think over 42.5 is achievable. So what does all 10 legs of those look like? Well, again, we've got Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown and the Colts money line. We've got Emeka Egbuka anytime touchdown. Garrett Wilson going over 5.5 receptions and over 66.5 receiving yards. We've got Quinton Johnston anytime touchdown, and then Keenan Allen over 4.5 catches against the Broncos. Harold Fannin Jr. going over 32.5 receiving yards. Devontae Adams going over 58.5 receiving yards. And then the Bengals and Vikings going over 42.5 points. That's $10 that I bet on this game at plus 33,826. That's a $10 wager to win me $3,392.63. I think we got it this week. That's what we're cooking up here at Party Jet Sports. Let me know what you think. And if you like the parlay as much as we do, take it yourself. Let's all win some money this week here. That's what we're here for. That's a good of the cause if you're able to win some money. So check us out. Let me know. Give me some feedback. Share your parlays with us. We are very interested in seeing what you're cooking up as well. Let us know in the comments. Reach out to us on Twitter. Slide into our DMs. We are open. All right, you can slide into our DMs there. And just let us know what you think. So that's what I'm cooking up this week. I feel good about it. But ultimately, see what happens. That's what I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the feed, especially throughout the season. We're going to crank out more content. We got your Monday morning drive. We got your weekly podcast. We've got your parlay of the weekend, and anything else that comes up. So again, check us out. Tell your loved ones, tell your friends, tell anyone that you know that loves sports as much as we do, especially the NFL, to check us out anywhere and everywhere. All at Party Chat Sports. Until next time, peace.